want to give today is something that one of my coaches talked to me about and helped me use this strategy, helped me use this thinking in order to improve my business. And that is asking me the question, what business are you in? And I want to ask you guys, as real estate investors that are in the room, what business are you in? Shout it out, share with me. Someone said hospitality. Okay. Communication. Somebody said real estate. What else? Service. Somebody said jeweler? Yeah. Right. Oh, you're a jeweler. What about in real estate investing? What business are we in as real estate investors? What do we do? We help people. What else? Make money. Okay. All right, good. What else? We make good relationships. What else? Sales. Who else has got me? Who else can describe what you do to like someone that you meet on the street? You're going to tell them you make money? You're going to tell them you're in sales? What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them? Say it again. Solve problems. All right. So this is what I see most real estate investors will tell me. Yeah, I'm in the business of real estate investing. Duh. Right? What is, does that like encourage someone to like want to have a conversation with you? Yes. Someone says yes, and I think in some cases it does naturally for someone who's interested. But if you just say I'm a real estate investor, is that kind of cut the conversation off a little bit? It's like, oh wow, well look at you, right? I think the thing that I saw best was this description of this woman who said, I'm a life coach. It's like, well, what are you going to say to that, right? Think about it, right? Is that just a slight bit intimidating? Maybe, right? It's like, whoa, what's so good about your life that you think you can coach me, right? Right? But what if you said something instead like, well, would it help if I kind of describe to you what kind of people that I help in my business? Am I interested now? Have you piqued my curiosity now? This is the interactive part. Yes, right? Yes, I want to know. Well, so as a life coach, you may say something like, well, you know when you meet people that are sometimes at a transition point or a turning point in their life, and they really feel like they need to do something different, but they don't know what steps to take next, and they're a little unsure about what to do? And how many of you guys are thinking, well, that's me right now, right? And how many of you guys are thinking, oh, I'm interested? Yes? That's a different way of describing it. And what happens when you do that? This tennis effect, or this ping pong effect. What does that mean? The best conversations are when we are volleying back and forth. The best conversations are not when I'm like slamming a serve on you every single time. Because when someone's slamming a serve on you every time conversationally, does that make you want to have a conversation with them? No, it doesn't. When someone says, would it help if I kind of gave you a little story about the type of people that I help in my life? And then people open up. So I don't know if real estate investing is maybe exactly what you want to say if you want to open up the conversation, right? So some people will say, like, I'm in the business of fixing and flipping houses, or I'm in the business of wholesaling, or I'm being a landlord, or multifamily investing, or someone said it in here already, I'm in the business of solving problems. But I will challenge each of you guys to think about what you say you do, and challenge each of you guys to consider what business you are really in. And does it start with, and Jessica, I'm sorry, does it start with making money? Is someone going to be like, oh yeah, I want to have that conversation? I don't know. How can you say what you do in a different way that is more compelling to someone, that makes it aspirational to someone else, that makes someone else want to work with you, work for you, or in our case, make someone want to sell you their house? What can you say? How can you reframe that? How can you reframe what business you are in, what business you are really in? Who's got something for me?
Helping people.
Helping people? Change your life? What else? What's something, share with me, guys. Real estate guidance counselor? What else? Somebody said something in the back there. Financial freedom? All right. Can I give you some of the things that I say that might help you guys? Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the business as a real estate investor of solving unsolvable problems on unachievable timeframes. How many real estate investors are in the room, like have actually invested in real estate? A couple of you guys. Is this not what we do? Is this what we do? And does that make someone say, wait a second, now you said a real estate investor, yeah, I know what that is. I think I know what that is. Conversation stops. But if you tell someone, I'm in the business of solving unsolvable problems on unachievable timeframes, are people now curious? Do people want to dig in? Do people want to have that conversational volley, right? Are people maybe interested in maybe helping you achieve your goals? Think about that. When people get interested in you, do you think they're more interested in helping you achieve your goals? Have you ever met somebody who's like, man, they are passionate about what they do. What can I do to support them? Is it just me, or is it you guys too? You meet somebody like that, you're like, yeah, I want to support, this person has so much passion, so much love, and so much drive, and they do things that other people can't do, and they have these dreams and these visions of being able to help people, and I want to make sure that that happens for them. Have you ever heard anyone say, hey, I sold them insert item here, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, whether it's whatever it is. They weren't the highest offer, but what? They were personable, but what? I like them. What's the number one thing that makes a salesperson great? It's likability, right? What makes someone likable? When you don't do a grand slam smash on them when you're serving to them, right? When you make it back and forth, when you share some of your dreams, some of your goals, and the why that you are doing it. So when someone digs in, right? Solving unsolvable problems, for me that looks like probate, heirship affidavits, wild family trees, people in jail, people on the lam, dead people and finding their heirs, right? Skip tracing, closing in hours and days when a typical time frame might be 30 days for a regular real estate transaction. Paying cash, not having to get bank approval, not having to get a bank loan, not having to get inspection approval, right? Is that what we do? The answer is yes. But make it in a way so that you don't just do a slam dunk on the person who's right in front of you. Say it in a way that creates that interest in you, that creates their curiosity. Because there's something that happens to all of us when we're telling a story. And what that is, it's a scientific term. It's called brain-to-brain coupling. And when you're brain-to-brain coupling with someone, that sounds a little dirty, doesn't it? When you're doing that, right, are they heart open to you? Do they want to work with you? Do they want to help you? Do they want to be part of what you're doing in your life? I think the answer is yes. The other business that I'm in, I have a lot of rental properties. I have a lot of multifamily properties as well. I provide attractive, safe, and affordable housing and an effortless leasing experience for my tenants, right? Does a tenant want to lease for me versus like I'm a slumlord, I got a couple trashy houses down the street, right? Which sounds better, right? The first one. Does what you do, does what you say, does how you say it matter? And I'll tell you, my husband taught me this a long time ago because for me, I am a far left brainer, okay? I'm very analytical. And whenever I would present something as a younger woman, my husband, Phil, he would always say to me, Shanoa, you're all steak, but you're no sizzle. Did any of my left brainer friends ever feel like that? Or you've probably never been told that either. So my husband and I, we have very frank conversations with her. In fact, his cutie name for me, his love name for me was Spreadsheet Girl. I'm just saying, like that's where I came from. So I would be all about the facts and not about any of the heart. But as I've grown a little bit older and a little bit more mature, I try and speak from a place of the heart, because I know that's when you're really speaking to that other person. I know that's when you're really communicating. Because as much as you think, and especially some of my left brain friends in here, right, who are also very analytical, you think that you're giving reason. You think that you're giving logic. You think that you're being analytical and giving all of the answers, right? Does a motivated seller react to all of that? The answer is no. That's only 5% of our analytical mind. The rest is all subconscious. The rest is all emotional, right? And a lot of problems that I think people have, especially people like me who are super left brain, super analytical, is that they don't realize that, and they're trying to come in and give logic to a homeowner, give logic to a seller that you're about to lose your house and lose all of your equity in 3 days. You're speaking to their logic, but their logic isn't really the thing that makes the decision. It's their gut that ultimately helps them make that decision. That's part of the subconscious. That's part of the amygdala. Has anybody read Simon Sinek's Start With Why? Has anybody read that book? Okay, a couple of you guys, right? So what it says is all of our rational thinking, right, is in the neocortex, the new, large, big part of our brain. But all of our emotions and all of our gut feelings is in the amygdala, the oldest part of our brain that's sort of tied, if you will, to that gut feeling. And what's funny about the amygdala is that it has no capacity for language. No capacity for language. So sometimes when we try to explain our gut feelings, it's very difficult for us to put words on those things that just don't feel right. But yet that's probably where about 95% of our decision, I've presented you all of the facts. You should be in a good place to make a decision now, but you don't. Why? Because something just doesn't feel right. So a lot of this stuff is some of the softer aspects of selling, but what you guys need to know about some of these softer aspects of selling is it's 95% of your ability to be successful when you're communicating with someone. Does this make sense to you guys? Yes, yes? Okay, good. All right, so a couple other things that I do. Coaching at Texas REIAs. So providing the knowledge that investors need to find opportunities, creatively and legally structure deals, profit on their opportunities, create cash flow and wealth without fear of losing money, right? And then I love this next line, which I get to say all the time, is that I help people quit jobs that they hate so that they can do things that they love, and it feels amazing. Does somebody now want to know what I do? If I just tell them I'm a real estate coach, I help people make money, right? I solve problems. I'm sort of getting it, right? But I'm all up here and I'm not in here. But when you're able to communicate in that way, I think a lot of times you're able to unlock projects for other people. I also fund deals for other members of the Real Estate Investor Association. So I help investors who maybe don't have money unlock profits out of their deals by funding impossible deals on unloanable houses, because a Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America is not going to loan on your house that doesn't have a running water in it, right? And I do it on their timelines, right? Is that something more compelling than I'm a hard money lender, I'm a private money lender, right? Borrowing money, so I help people get above average market returns on hard assets without lifting a finger. Are you interested? Yes. Does it kind of show who you are in a different way? So yes, it is about solving problems, but I think it's also important in how you describe the problems that you solve in a way that you can really communicate with people and help them want to be on your side. Because once they are on your side, that's when, in a lot of cases, some of this magic is unlocked for us as real estate investors. So again, as you're thinking about the investment that you are really in, got to go back to that. When you're thinking about the investment that you are really in, your message needs to be aspirational. Your message needs to stir curiosity. And you need to focus not on the process, right? I stop foreclosure, right? I buy cash, right? I close quickly. Yes, that is the what you do. That is some of your process, but it is some of the benefits, but it's not necessarily speaking to someone as we talked about with some of the other ways you can describe what you do earlier. And your message has to have emotion, because that is one of the ways to really have someone else on the other side of that negotiating table open up to you. And one of the things that Chris Voss talks about is something called tactical empathy, right? So what is tactical empathy? What is tactical empathy? It's showing your understanding of them. It's not necessarily you agreeing with them, but it's showing your understanding of them. And when someone feels understood, does that open up doors for you? I heard this saying in a book that I read a few years ago, and the saying goes like this: people don't want to be sold, but they want to go shopping with friends, right? And who are our friends other than people who believe the things that we believe, who understand us, who get that tactical empathy, right? So we're communicating on a different level. So that's one of the things I want to share with you guys tonight as you are working on what business you are really in and how you can use that to be able to win deals where most investors can't, because they're communicating at the wrong level, right? So I want to kind of get you guys to go a little bit deeper. And I also want to talk to you guys about how we can help you through that strategy as well. So for us, what we learned a long time ago is that the more resourced you are in terms of your network, so I know some of you guys were here to understand the network, in terms of the knowledge, the more successful you will be as a real estate investor. And I will caution, I know some of you guys have been investing for a long time, I will caution you guys, if you've been investing for a long time, don't think I've learned everything, I've done everything, because that's the moment that you start slipping, because markets are always changing, rules are always changing, laws are always changing, contracts are always changing. Customers, clients are always wanting more from you, having a higher expectation, and competitors are always at your heels. So if you're not continuing to learn and grow, you're going to get stuck, and you're not going to realize it until maybe months or years after that point. So continue that learning. I know I personally am as well. And I want to make sure you guys are know that you're in the right place, getting the right knowledge, because I want to make sure you guys who are investing in Texas know that you're learning from other people who also live and invest in Texas. So I see a lot of people start to get very excited about different strategies that they might hear about online. The one that drives me probably the most crazy is, how many of you guys have heard about these tax deeds and these tax auctions? It sounds so amazing, right? It sounds like you can buy a $100,000 house for $100, right? That's not how things happen here. But you could go down a rabbit hole, and Carolyn, I was going to ask you to come up and talk a few moments ago. You can go down a rabbit hole by listening to people on, YouTube University. And here's what I'll caution you guys on, and I say this knowing that, and you guys know that we have a YouTube channel, right? But we don't claim to be everything to everyone, but we do claim to go deep in our understanding in what happens here in Texas. So I will just tell you guys, if you're learning from someone on YouTube, I get it, I understand. But just make sure that, especially when it comes to real estate investing, that it's someone who also lives and or at least works and invests here in Texas, because the laws and rules are very different. Texas REIAs is the only association that focuses specifically on Texas markets, Texas strategies. You don't have to pick through all of the menu, right, to be able to find the right thing that you want to order. We're going to help you guys. We're going to assist you guys through it. And as you grow your network, your tribal knowledge, you'll succeed, and it will be in a way that is much more effortless and much more joyful. So I hope you guys all decide to join us as part of Texas REIAs because we have everything that you need to be able to successfully invest here in Texas. So for those of you guys who are joining us online for our tip of the week, thank you guys for joining us for that.